Hello, and welcome to another episode of a Fanfiction first reading. So, we're back with a Stray Bunny by Odominico, and I keep getting notifications. Get out of here. Alright. And forgive me for I've sinned, but I have slightly read ahead, and I already really like this chapter. So, airship battle. I instantly noticed that I was not wearing my usual clothes, but was wearing the uniform. I still had my belt of bullets and my Gatling gun. Mirage was still in her clothes and had her swords. Again, Cass was still a cat. More than one person's voice was heard as they were talking. A strong voice yelled, and everyone else was. Mars looked at Cass and said something softly in cat language. Cass nodded and jumped into the cabinet. She pushed something and it fell out onto the ground, causing a vibration to ripple through the floor. Everyone looked over there and the man spoke again. "Go see what it was," he instructed. A man walked over and Cass jumped out. "Hey, kitty, boss, it was just a pet someone must have snuck on," he yelled as Cass walked to the large staff with a large pick. With the large pick head of metal on the end, I guess. I don't know. Kitty, you wouldn't like that, he warned. But she went over anyway. She bit the handle and lifted it up like it was nothing. "Boss, you want this weapon?" he asked, pointing to the cat. "Sure," the boss said, and grabbed the staff and pulled. See, I mean, I'm a little bit confused as for what is going on right now. Like, some of the dialogue isn't very good, I will admit, because it's just like, what uh okay, hold on. Okay. Sure, the boss said, and grabbed the staff and pulled, but it didn't move at all. "Drop," he said, and she did. And he tried again. No more luck than last time. The other man tried to. Nope, it was solid on the ground. Soon everyone was gathered around, trying to lift it. "Go," Mirage whispered, and she jumped out. She grabbed her swords, and I held my bag out. "Can I see my cat?" Mirage asked. Everyone turned to her, and Cass grabbed her staff in her mouth and went over to her. She dropped it and stomped her foot and turned back into a human. She grabbed her staff and pointed its sharpened tip toward their leader. A tall man with brown hair and gray eyes. He wore a suit and his hair was straight and gelled. He was most likely in his 40s. "Here, doggy, here, boy," she mimicked him, and he growled. She pushed him into a wall, and Mirage covered her back as two men tried to attack. The other three saw me and thought I was without a weapon. They were wrong. The first guy rushed at me, and I hit him aside with a ton of force. He landed with a loud thud, and I looked at him. I turned my bag into a gun. Their faces were priceless. They looked as if I had said they had 3 minutes to get everything they own into a house 4 minutes away. Just priceless. I shot at them, knocking them all down. I knocked all of them out with the blow to the bad with the head. Fuck! I knocked all of them out with a blow to the head with my bag. Mirage and Cass did good as well. The leader was on the ground in a coma, and the others were knocked out. The door quickly swung open, and the teacher I met earlier, another teacher, Glinda Goodwitch, and the headmaster all came into the room. They looked at us and the people on the ground. "Well, girls," the headmaster said, "I see you beat us to it." Oh, fuck's sake. He smiled, and I smiled. "Did we do well, meow?" Cass asked before I could say what she meant. He smiled and said, "You did very well, meow." Fuck's sake. Oh, boy. What? I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought there. Anyways. Oh, God. Okay. Mystery Girl. After I was thanked by the headmaster, Professor Ozpin, and the vice headmaster, I don't know, it was Glinda. I ran into the hallway with all the windows. I was looking for Velvet. She wasn't there. I looked around hoping to see her bunny ears pop up from somewhere, but no such luck. I ran to the second hallway and did the same. She still wasn't there. "Vel, where are you?" I muttered as I walked to the last room. It was a large room with windows all around the back wall. I looked up to try to see ears, but none were there. I looked down on the feet and something caught my eye. It was a girl on the ground, her head in her arms. She was most likely crying. Went up to her and noticed that her hair was the same as Velvet's. Hey, I placed my hand on her shoulder and spoke quietly. It's okay. I couldn't hear the sobs coming from her chest. She looked up and revealed her identity. It was Velvet. Her eyes were red from tears. She looked up at me and instantly jumped up and clung her arms around me in a hug. I hugged back and she collapsed to the ground, arms still around me. I sat with her for about 2 minutes looking out the window at the world below us. What happened? I asked after a bit. A group of stupid boys started to pick on me, she sobbed. Put my arm around her again. She put her head on my shoulder and closed her eyes. A girl defended me, though. She told them to go away and never come back. I don't know what she looked like or what her name was, but she went off with 2 girls, one with a hood and one who had long pigtails and a pirate-like outfit. I didn't know what to say. I looked around to see if they were in here, but they weren't. I rubbed Velvet's back and whispered, I'll make sure that no one ever does that to you again. And she smiled and hugged me again. Oh, come on. No! That reminds me of I think it was a comic where like Cardin was making fun of Velvet and then the rest of the team just beat the shit out of them. Anyways. Beacon. When the airship first landed, everyone was surprised. We were in the air so long that it felt normal. It was weird when we were getting out. People were kissing the ground and just laying there on the ground. Teachers had to tell them to get up and guide them to the auditorium. The presentation didn't start for another 30 minutes. Other airships were still in the air and getting everyone configured. So I decided to walk around and get to know Velvet a little more. So I trailed off, and we were walking in the courtyard. Yes, she asked, looking at me as we wandered. What was it like at the camp you lived at? I asked, and she looked at me strange. Lived? She questioned. Well, yeah, I don't want you to go back there until you have learned to defend yourself, or until this faunus bullcrap settles down, I told her. She blushed and smiled. You don't have to do that. I'll be fine. Well, if you get in, you'll be living here for 4 years, so it's not like you have a choice. We both laughed, but stopped when we saw a boy. He was a little shorter than me. He had orange hair that looked as if he just woke up. He wore the uniform, but looked unhappy about it. He had 2 bracelets on that were an amber color. He was a pretty normal guy, except his eyes were pure white. No pupil, no iris, just white. Hey, I said calmly. He looked at me and Vel. Hey, he whispered, obviously shy. He was holding his hair in his hands and looking down. Do you need help with anything? I asked, not trying to be mean and be like, you're blind, so you must need help. He replied, still looking down. Yeah, sorta. I see. I was heading to the auditorium when I got lost. I looked at Velvet, then back at him and said, we were going to head there now. Want to come with? Sure, and thanks. We walked for a little bit, and I took steps that were a little bit louder than normal. So, I'm Coco Adele, I said, breaking the unwanted silence. I'm a fox, Alistair. I know there's more than one of you. Who's your friend? He asked, a smile coming to his lips. I smiled too. My brother was blind. He always used to do this kind of stuff to me and my very few friends. He would act as if he didn't know they were there until they left. I am Velvet Scarlatina, Velvet responded, unsure. I think I'm going to like this fox guy, I thought. From then to when we got to the auditorium, there was a blissful silence. When we got to the auditorium, there were a ton of people. Fox had been waiting. Come with me to where I got us some spots. A tall, wide guy says he walked up to us. Thanks, guys. Good luck, he said, walking off with his friend. The same to you, fellas. I winked at the tall man and he mouthed, thank you. I smiled and walked over to Velvet, who was looking pretty paranoid and scared. What's up? I asked, concerned in my voice. That boy, the one in the armor with the orange hair. He's the one that got those group of boys to pick on me, she whispered. I nodded and walked towards him. Hey, I growled at him. He turned back and looked down at me, emphasizing that he was taller than me. What do you want? He asked in his not-so-manly voice. Good. Got a problem with faunus? I asked, anger tracing my voice. What if I do, huh? What are you going to do about it? He asked, looking at me and up and down, seeing I only had a belt of bullets in my bag. He shoved me back and I stumbled and just looked at him. Giving you a warning, I hissed, looking at him. We were in the back and I was facing the wall. That means if I hit him, he wouldn't take out too many people. He laughed at me and crouched to be at my height, even though I was still pretty tall. Why, you think you actually will hurt me? He sneered and shoved me to the ground. I hopped up as quick as I could and walked towards him. He had turned out and was walking to a group of ladies. Watch out, ladies, I said as I hit him on the arm with my bag. He instantly collapsed and held the spot where I hit him. The girls walked away unimpressed with his lack of strength. He lifted up his arm to reveal a huge black and blue bruise, taking up most of his forearm. Don't get me angry, I said, looking down at him. Or you might get a boo-boo, I said, as if I was talking to a baby. With that, I walked off and over to Velvet. Woo! Oh, God. Oh. That's... Like, I understand that bag is relatively small and has to hold all of the makings for a fucking minigun in it, but, like... that is ridiculous. Although I know she's also incredibly strong, so that too. Anyways, Velvet's story, which is going to get nice and sad. Or maybe not, I don't know. We stood and listened and stood and watched. Good. And we stood and stood and stood. Oh. It seemed like a million years went by before they were done, but only a mere hour had gone by or something. We were being set off in groups based off our names. Well, you were coming with me or the headmaster. Either way, it's cool. I said to Vel, who was shuddering at the thought of being alone, or worse, the boy had picked on her. The teachers, headmaster, and the vice headmaster were all walking around telling people their groups. When the headmaster gets to me, he smiles. And what might be your name? He asked me. I'm Coco Dell. I am here with me, Velvet Scarlatina. You'll not find her in any of the school files, though. I brought her with me so that she could at least have a chance of fighting. Ah, well, you are in group 1 with the A's. Miss Scarlatina, you can come with me, he said, pointing at my group and then walking up with Velvet. See, that is a good thing. Her not just being in a group by herself, but being with Osmond, that's a good one as well. Anyways, Velvet's POV. Okay, we walked out of the auditorium and into the main building. We found an elevator and we went up to the very top floor. When we got there, I saw it was a clock tower, with this being where the clock face was. I looked around in awe. Please take a seat. I will be right back. He sipped at his coffee and pointed to a chair. I sat and looked at the large desk. I heard the elevator open and close, and he was gone. I waited patiently to return. There were many things on his desk, and I found it hard not to reach out and touch something. But I waited until he came back, but this time he was with the vice headmaster. So, he said, walking to his chair and sitting down, he set down a plate of carrots. You want to go to my school? I looked at him and blushed. Well, I do, but I don't know much about fighting. I never was much of a fighter. I met Coco in the woods. I had ran away from my camp I was living at. Everyone hated me, but mainly because I was a faunus. But Coco was different. She let me live with her and told me I could go back after I learned how to kick their butts for being so mean. She taught me a lot of things these past few months, and I think I am ready to take the next step and learn how to fight and become a huntress. They looked at me, Glinda writing down things that I had said. What drives you to become a huntress? He asked, really interested. I guess because there's so many people that hate faunus, I want to prove to them that even though my species has been doing things that are quite wrong, there's still a spark of hope. He looked at me, and Glinda wrote down a few more things. Where are you from? He finally said after a brief moment of silence. I am from a small camp an hour or so out of the forest of Forever Fall. How's it like there? How did they treat you? You don't have to answer if you feel uncomfortable, he asked. The camp was okay It was a camp for the poor. People there lived in pretty nice houses and tents, but their personalities and attitude were lacking. The people there treated me the worst out of all the other faunus. I remember there was this one faunus girl. She had a cattail, but she hid it under her clothes. She was one of the worst people to me. She would call me worthless, filthy animal, ugly beast, and sometimes she would I trailed off, not knowing if they wanted to hear what came next. Should I go on? It gets a little more bad. Go ahead. We have all experienced bad things, and it's good to get your feelings out. Okay. It says warning. So pay attention, or stop reading this, right? Or stop watching this video right now if you don't want to hear any of this crazy shit. Sometimes she would come into my tent at night and drag me out while I was asleep. She would strip me down into only my underwear and bra, and she would beat me. Other people would hear the whip snap or my screams, and they would come out. The other faunus would only watch in fear. Others who hated me would go out and help her. When I was little, it paralyzed me and I would stay still, but as I got older, stronger, I would get away, and she would run after me and drag me back. When I turned 10, she got me a present. It was a pole in the center of the camp, and she would tie me up to it so I wouldn't get away. It went on from when I was most likely 3 to when I ran away for good a few months ago when I turned 16. I tried to kill myself way more than a few times. Each day from when I turned 11, I would cut a slit in my wrist. One day, the girl noticed when she was beating me and wouldn't untie until I drank an entire bottle of rodent killer. The first day it was 1, the second 2, so on until I got sick that I almost did die. It had only been 2 months since she started making me. I was in my bed and she came in and decided that me beating needed to start that morning. She hit me on my left foot and it snapped. The poison made my bones thin and brittle. She snapped 3 ribs on my arm. It was a while before I could walk, but I liked it. It would all change when I turned 14. She would take me out of my tent at night, tie me up, and bring me to a tent far away. There would be a naked man or woman in there, and she would watch as she made me have sex with them. I got pregnant once, and the man killed himself for getting useless faunus pregnant and sharing his blood with a creature that had the same blood as me. And surprisingly, the baby lived to be a year old. Then someone took her and killed her, putting her little hands and feet at my door. I cried for a few months straight. The night I ran off, I was going to go kill myself. I was going to find a river or a cliff to jump and drown. But I saw Coco, and she saw me. Ugh. And she instantly knew what it was like to go through something devastating. I'm so sorry if I freaked you out or I did anything to you at all. It's just, that's my story. I sniffed, and I realized I've been crying. Jeez. Fuck. Professor Ozpin wiped away a stray tear from his face and looked at me in the eyes. It's okay. I think that you would be a great student to have in our school. And with that, I was in. Fuck. Alright. Group A. Okay, how many chapters have we done so far? So we started with airship battle. Alright, we'll try to do this chapter, even though it's very short. Alright, whatever. Group A. I wish I had an E in the end of group. Alright, Coco's POV. Once Velvet walked away with the headmaster, I walked over to my group. There were not that many people. The teacher that was with us told us to get changed into our combat clothes. We walked as a group to the changing rooms, and I changed my clothes. Don't ask how I had them. Shut up. After I was changed, looked at the people to see if I liked their outfits. There was a group about 3 girls with okay taste. There was a group of guys with not so good fashion. And then there was one blonde guy that with the most basic fashion of them all. He was wearing a black hoodie and a chest plate on shoulder plates. He also had a pair of jeans on. It was very simple and casual. It did not look like it was appropriate for battle. I mean... I walked up to him and was going to talk to him when a teacher I didn't recognize started to talk to us. You are here to see if your worthless children are ready to... Okay, fuck's sake. You are here to see if you worthless children are ready to be less worthless. Fuck. The man drunkenly slurred out. Some of the other people listening got a little offended. Others got angry and stepped forward and raised a fist. Crow, be kind, Glinda said to him as she was walking back with Ozpin. He rolled his eyes and looked at us again. You will go through a series of training obstacles and such, and I will evaluate how you do, he said, seeming kind of mad that he got picked to do this. I don't think I want him to be evaluating us, a girl near me whispered to a girl near her. I chuckled at her remark and looked at the instructor as he gave us some of the instructions for what he was doing. He's about 6'6", and he was wearing a white, long shirt with a tattered red cape. His hair was black, short, and held up in a wave look by most likely hair gel. He didn't seem too much older than the headmaster. First, well, I think he's younger than the headmaster. What? Bruh. First, we will have you do a test run with your weapon. You will go through a course like you will on your first day, that is, if you make it. And I don't just mean it. I mean if you make it out alive. He looked at everyone in the eye but stopped at me. You, he said, or he looked at me he looked at me and pointed a finger. Girl with the hat, get up here. I nodded and walked up to him, my shades covering my eyes, which were looking a little worried. But I stood next to him and I looked at him off the rim of the shades. Yeah? What's your name? He asked, a little annoyed at how calm I was. Coco Adele, I smiled. You? He rolled his eyes. Call me Mr. Crow or whatever. I don't care now. I have a question for you. Why are you here? I looked at him and smiled. Because my brother always wanted to come here, and when he died, I took his dream from him. I said, and he looked at me strange. Yeah, well, that was his dream. Did you just want to do everything he wanted to do? No, I wanted to be a fashion designer, but when some Nevermore attacked my home, my brother and my mother both got killed. They were both hunts and huntresses. I killed the Nevermore and wanted to be a huntress. He looked at me and rolled his eyes and set me back, and then it started. What is this? Okay, all right, we'll end it here. So next time we will come back with the next 11 parts of the story, I believe, if I can math correctly. 16, 10, 11, yeah, okay. Assumably the next 11 parts. Okay, sort of the next 11 parts. Actually, it looks like only about 9. All right, cool. Anyways, yeah, we'll do that next time, which for me will be a few hours, if not like a couple days, because I have been struggling to read stuff. But, you know, it'll be longer or something for you. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. I need to stop.